Assalamu alaikum friends. Hope all of you are fine and doing well. This is my 7th video of muscle anatomy. Before this video, I have made 6 videos on muscle anatomy. So watch those videos after this. In this video, we will discuss about the muscles that are involved in neck and head flexion, extension and rotation. Let's start this video. First of all, those muscles that are involved in head and neck flexion, the first muscle is longus colli muscle. This is the longus colli muscle. Its origin from insertion of longus colli muscle on inferior oblique part and anterior tubercle of transverse process of C5 and C6 vertebra and vertical intermediate part and front of bodies of C2 and C4 vertebra and superior oblique part and inferior tubercle of atlas. Nerve supply anterior primary rami. Action neck flexion. The muscle in green is longus colli muscle. The second flexor muscle is longus capitis muscle. The muscle in red is longus capitis muscle. Its origin from occipital bone. Insertion anterior tubercles of transverse processes of C3 to C6. Nerve supply anterior primary rami. Action neck flexion. The muscle in red is longus capitis muscle. The next flexor muscle is Scalenus anterior muscle. The muscle in green is Scalenus anterior muscle. Its origin from C3 to C6 vertebra on anterior tubercles of transverse process. Insertion scalene tubercle on inner border of first rib. Nerve supply ventral rami. Action involve in flexion, laterally flexion and rotation of neck and raises first rib during respiration. The muscle in green is Scalenus anterior muscle. Then scalene muscle. It has 3 parts: anterior, middle and posterior. The muscle in red is scalene muscle. Origin C3 to C6 anterior tubercles of transverse process. Insertion scalene tubercle on inner border of first rib. Nerve supply ventral rami. Action involve in flexion, laterally flexion and rotation of neck and raises first rib during respiration. The next muscle is trapezius muscle. This is the largest muscle. The muscle in green is trapezius muscle. Origin middle 1/3 of superior nuchal line, external occipital tuberance, ligament C7 spine, T1 to T12 spines corresponding supraspinous ligament. Insertion posterior border of lateral third of clavicle. Middle fibers, middle border of acromion, superior lip of crest of spine of scapula. Lower fibers, tubercle at middle end of spine of scapula. Nerve supply, accessory nerve, ventral rami. Action upper fibers elevate scapula, middle retract scapula, and lower fibers depress scapula. The muscle in green is trapezius muscle. Next muscle is Splenius cervicis muscle. This is Splenius cervicis muscle. Its origin T3 to T6 spinous processes. Insertion posterior tubercles of transverse process of C1 to C3 to C4. Nerve supply dorsal rami. Action laterally flexion, rotation and extension of neck. The muscle in green is Splenius cervicis muscle. Next muscle is sternocleidomastoid muscle. The muscle in green is sternocleidomastoid muscle. Origin sternal head, anterior surface of manubrium, sterni. Clavicular head, upper surface of medial third of clavicle. Insertion, mastoid process of temporal bone, lateral half of superior nuchal line of occipital bone. Nerve supply, accessory nerve. Action, laterally flexion and rotation of neck. Anterior fibers involved in neck flexion. Posterior fibers involved in neck extension. The muscle in green is sternocleidomastoid muscle. Now discuss about those muscles that are involved in neck and head extension. The first muscle is levator scapulae. The muscle in green is levator scapulae muscle. Its origin C1, C3 to C4 transverse processes. Insertion scapula, middle border between superior angle and the base of spine. Nerve supply, ventral rami, dorsal scapular nerve. Action, elevates and medially rotates and retracts scapula, extends and laterally flexes neck. The muscle in green is levator scapulae muscle. The next muscle is rectus capitis posterior major muscle. The muscle in green is rectus capitis posterior major muscle. Its origin axis spinous process. Insertion occipital bone, lateral part of inferior nuchal line. Nerve supply dorsal ramus. Action involving neck extension and neck rotation. The next muscle is rectus capitis posterior minor muscle. The muscle in green is rectus capitis posterior minor muscle. Origin atlas posterior tubercle. Insertion medial part of inferior nuchal line of occipital bone. Nerve supply dorsal ramus. Action involving neck extension. The next muscle is semispinalis muscle. The muscle in red is semispinalis muscle. Its origin from C7 to T6 transverse processes, C4 to C6 articular processes. Insertion between superior and inferior nuchal lines of occipital bone. Nerve supply dorsal rami of spinal nerve. Action involving extension and rotation of head. This is the semispinalis muscle. Now discuss about the muscles that are involved in neck rotation. The first muscle is multifidus muscle. The muscle in green is multifidus muscle. Origin back of sacrum, aponeurosis of erector spine, posterior superior iliac spine, dorsal sacroiliac ligament, mammillary process in lumbar region, all thoracic transverse processes, articular process of lower fourth cervical vertebra. Insertion spines of all vertebra from L5 to axis. Nerve supply dorsal rami of spinal nerve. Action involving extension, rotation and laterally flexion of vertebral column. The muscle in green is multifidus. Thanks for watching this video. Please like, subscribe and share my channel.